How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Oceans Reviews here today. So today we're going to be going over everything I watched in the month of December. So this month I didn't watch as much as I planned to just because I was so busy. Damn, it was a busy month. And with also being sick, I spent like the best part of a week in bed. So that was a contributing factor to sort of not watching as many movies as I'd like to. But I did watch a fair few things, and I was happy to sort of at least watch some of my traditional Christmas movies that I always return to every year. So yeah, I did watch a few pretty nice, decent things. So how these videos work, I record all my movies that I watch through my Letterboxd account, and that app sort of helps me prepare these sort of videos. So I sort of refer off that while talking to you guys about the movies that I watched, and I just go through the days of the month through there. So there'll be a little slide here, a picture showing every sort of movie I watched according to what day, and also the rating that I gave it, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. We don't really have a lot to talk about, but still watched a fair few things. So first movie I watched of the month. Let's start now, by the way. Slide. Here we go. First movie I watched of the month was Arrival. Now, I was sort of really looking forward to this movie. It seemed quite interesting and a good sci-fi film. It was highly regarded, highly rated. But I was sort of a little bit disappointed. It just felt like a bit of a run-of-the-mill type movie for me. It didn't do anything different, I feel like, to what I've seen before. So I was kind of a bit disappointed with that one. It was good, but it was okay. It was just a good movie, but it just wasn't anything that I haven't seen before, and it didn't bring anything new to the table. It was just there, and I was like, okay, that was cool. And then yeah, but I don't know, I expected something a bit more better, a bit more, I don't know, just good, I feel like. Now the next movie we got on the list is The Meg. Now, I just wanted to watch something kind of fun, and I definitely got that from this movie, although I do recognize its problems. I do feel like it does have a lot of problems. But I did enjoy it for what it was, but it was just ridiculous. It was a ridiculous movie, but it was fun. It delivered its purpose, I think. Now I watched 4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn, even though it says 4 Holidays on my Blu-ray, so I'm not sure why. I think the American version is 4 Christmases, and what I got, maybe the UK and the Australian version, is 4 Holidays. But I remember really enjoying this film, but after going back to it and rewatching it, I didn't really enjoy it as much. I thought the movie was quite sort of depressing, and it wasn't really a nice, enjoyable, comedic Christmas film. I just thought it wasn't really as good as what I remember it to be. So I was kind of disappointed with that. But yeah, well, that's it. I probably won't return to it next Christmas, I think, to be honest. But then another Vince Vaughn Christmas movie that didn't disappoint me was Fred Claus. So this one was a lot of fun. I hadn't previously seen this one before. This is a first time watch for me, and I enjoyed it. It was a good Christmas movie. It was pretty good. I really enjoyed Vince Vaughn in this role. He was quite good in this. It was a lot of fun. Some good comedic moments in it. Very nice, light-hearted sort of, I don't know, kind of like drama-esque things going on there, but it was enjoyable all around, and it had a lot of heart, a lot of charm. It was a good Christmas movie, and it's one that I will return to next year. Now we got Good Will Hunting. So I wanted to rewatch this movie. After a long time, I've been sort of craving to watch it again. I don't know, I just had this feeling I really want to watch Good Will Hunting. And I was going to buy it, but then it was available to stream on Netflix, so I watched it from there. And, you know, it was good, of course. I really enjoyed it. Robin Williams' performance is just amazing in this film. He's just great in this movie. But all around, I do think it's a good film. I do think it's a tad overrated. I don't think it's the best film ever, but I do think it's good. I enjoyed it. So I got my fix. So I got my fix of Good Will Hunting there. And then I watched Everest. So this was one that I bought recently, maybe a month ago. So I flicked it on, watched it, gave it a go, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was good. It was a good film. It was pretty scary. Had some pretty scary moments in it. It was it was good. It was all performances all round were great. Very tense, sort of a scary sort of feeling that this movie gave me. Especially just climbing this mountain. Like, you could think like how much sort of effort and training and all sorts goes into climbing this mountain, Everest. But yeah, so I watched that and it was good, but I'm not sure if I'd return to it, to be honest. But there you go. Then we watched Home Alone. So at Christmas. I was about to say Christmas. A Christmas classic. One that I always return to every Christmas, obviously, as everyone else does. Everyone loves Home Alone, although I do like the second one more than this film, but I did thoroughly enjoy this. It was good. This is one that I don't return to as often as the second film, so I don't have fond memories with this film like I do with the second one, but I did enjoy it and it was a good time. And just Home Alone. Classic. I think instant hit for me. It was good though. The Guardians of the Galaxy, the holiday special. So watched this, heard some good things about it, really wanted to check it out, and I loved it. It was great. It was had a fun time with it. I just sat down, flicked it on, and it was really good. Definitely check it out if you guys haven't already. Awesome little, I think it's like 40 minutes, but it was a good time. Now, next page. Flick over. So then immediately after that, I actually watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which I enjoyed. I really enjoyed that. I had a good time with it. I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, so something that I can easily just get through and watch. Then I rewatched Taxi Driver, so I just had a craving to rewatch that again, go back to it. And, I love Taxi Driver. Honestly, probably my favorite, I'd say. Definitely. I think I'd say it's my favorite Robert De Niro film. But, yeah, it's a good film. It's great acting. It's just amazing. Love the sort of aesthetic it gives you. It's definitely, the tone of it is just on point. It's amazing. It's a great film. Home Alone 2, I don't really have to say much about this except it's probably my favorite Home Alone film. One that I do have fond memories of when sort of growing up as a kid. And I used to always love watching this film. Even when it wasn't even Christmas, I'd watch it. So yeah. And then I watched Christmas with the Cranks. A lot of people might not like this, but I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was okay. I laughed at maybe one of the jokes. One joke I laughed at. I couldn't tell you which one it was. I don't really remember, but it was I just didn't think it was a really great Christmas film. I feel like it didn't really put me in the holiday spirit. I just couldn't really get into it. It just wasn't that great, I think, for me, and it's something that I probably won't be returning to next year for Christmas. And then I went to the cinema to watch Avatar: The Way of the Water. So you're gonna see there's a big jump in like the dates of when I watched a movie. Obviously, because it's just busy. But yeah, Avatar: The Way of the Water. This film was amazing. I went and saw it in the cinema, saw it in 3D, and it was just spectacular. I haven't actually had the chance to talk about this movie yet in my experience. But I just thought it was fantastic. It was beautiful. But then again, the 3D, it wasn't really sort of that jumpy. It wasn't really coming out of the screen that much towards you. It was more sort of deep. It was like a deep 3D, which was kind of interesting, because usually when you think 3D, you think like the images, it's all coming out to you and you're grabbing it and like all that sort of stuff. But it wasn't really that type of 3D. But other than that, the film looked just amazing. I feel like it's definitely something that's worth seeing in the cinema. Spectacular, breathtaking film. The story, on the other hand, was pretty decent. It was good. I feel like for some reason I'd probably go back to the first movie for the story. Like story-wise, I feel like I'd enjoy the first movie more. I did enjoy the family dynamic of sort of what's going on there. That was done really well. But there is a few story elements that I think just didn't work, and I felt like they didn't make sense. They don't really line up. Some of these story elements don't line up with the first film. And I guess they could line up, but I just feel like it's just like, why would you do that? Like, why would you put that in the film? I don't get it. Like, it just doesn't really work. It's just things that don't really work. But nevertheless, I think it was an amazing film. I mean, all the sort of visuals and just the way it looks makes up for anything story-wise. It was just an incredible film. Something you should definitely see, and it's something that I will be picking up on release. And then after that, I watched Die Hard. So this was a lot of fun to watch Christmas Eve. Even though I've already, I've seen it and I'm pretty familiar with Die Hard. But it just felt different watching it on Christmas Eve. I think I enjoyed it that bit more. I had a better experience with it watching it on the 24th than any other time I've watched it for some reason. I feel like it just put me in the Christmas mood. I think it was just a lot of fun, and it was just a good, cool blockbuster movie to watch on that night. I thought it was great. It was really good. And then sort of Christmas mid-morning, we chucked on a movie. We watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas, The Grinch, Jim Carrey's The Grinch. This was a lot of fun. I do love The Grinch. I had a great time with this, and this is something that I always return to every Christmas. So yeah, next page. So that night on the 25th, after sort of, on Christmas, I watched the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. This was actually airing on TV. So I didn't watch it physically or on streaming. It was actually on TV, because they air it like every year on TV. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation on TV on the 25th at least, or the 24th. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time with this movie, and yeah, something I'm going to return to next Christmas. And then immediately after that, for some reason, I just had this craving to watch Transformers. So I flicked that on and, watched it, and I didn't really enjoy it as much as I'd remember, as when I remembered watching it, maybe when I was a bit younger, I felt like I was more desensitized to this movie. I feel like I was more easily impressed because of just, I'm younger, and I'm just sort of more easily like, oh, that's cool. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, I was just more easily impressed by it. But this time around, now that I'm more of a seasoned adult, I just didn't feel like it was that good as what I'd remember. I just thought it was kind of average. I thought it was just okay. So, yeah. And then the following day, I watched Disturbia. I just felt like rewatching this film again, because I've always sort of enjoyed this movie. I do think Shia LaBeouf is a bit annoying in this movie. Like, he is a little bit annoying. He's a bit weird. He's a bit quirky. I feel like, yeah, he is a bit. It's not as great as I remember, but I feel like it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. It's a movie that I still enjoy quite a lot. So yeah, watch Disturbia. I just went on a little Shia LaBeouf little like duo movie watch. You know, I watched Transformers, and then I just like, I want more Shia LaBeouf. I'm gonna watch Disturbia, and that's what I did. And then the last movie of the month, I watched Elvis for the first time, finally. I've been wanting to watch this film for a good while now, and I've just been putting it off, and I'm like, on this day I'm gonna watch it, and I flicked it on. I'm like, no, I'm watching it. I really want to watch it, so I'm gonna put it on, and I did. And this movie was fantastic. You know, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I think the music was great. Austin Butler as Elvis, he was awesome. He was really good. I'm not sure how I feel about Tom Hanks in this film. I thought overall he was quite good, but I'm just not entirely sure about his performance. But for some reason, I look through Letterboxd and at a lot of the reviews for this film, and a lot of people didn't like it, or they just had a problem with it because they just thought it was too much, or there was just too much going on, and they just didn't enjoy it for some reason. I just don't understand why people don't like this movie. Because it's got a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd at the moment, or 3.5 out of 5. And I just don't understand where the hate comes from for this film. I just thought it was done really well. The storytelling about Elvis in this film probably wasn't really that much in depth, but everything else revolving around it I thought was done really well. Like the costumes, the music, the filming style was really good. I really enjoyed. I got right into it. It was a little bit long, I'd say, a tiny bit long. It was a long movie, but I feel like I enjoyed it, like for the most part. Even though it was a long movie, I feel like I didn't really bother me too much. It's something that I feel like I'm gonna return to, definitely, because I had a great time with this movie and I got really into it. Austin Butler and his moves and the music, it was done really well. I really enjoyed it. It was a great film. Probably in my top 5, I'd say, of 2022. Elvis, definitely. But yeah, so anyway, enough about that. That's everything I watched in the month of December. Usually I'd watch a bit more than that, I feel like, but you know, just with family around and getting sick, I didn't really get as much in as I'd hoped. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.